Yeah, I think we all grow up with this very elementary view of what telling the truth means, this eighth commandment, tell the truth, don't tell a lie. Then as you kind of develop and grow and understand a little bit deeper in your faith, you see that your whole life is either truth or it's a lie. There's either you're living truth, either you're living out a life of faith and a life in Christ, or you're living a lie. You're living the lie that the kind of world puts towards us, which is life is about your own pursuits. It's about your own dreams. It's about your own selfish ambitions. I grew up in Colorado, went to Catholic school, elementary school, middle school, Jesuit high school, and I think by the time that I was 18, ready to be out of the house, I had really bought into more of what the world says life is supposed to be, rather than maybe what the church or what our faith tells us that life is supposed to be. So by the time that I went to Los Angeles to pursue film, I was 18. I very quickly left my faith behind and really pursued sort of this worldly view of things. You know, going from college to into the industry, into the industry in Hollywood, just doing everything that I thought meant something. So it was parties, it was networking, it was doing drugs, it was going out to clubs and just trying to be part of something that I thought was the most important thing, trying to be part of something bigger than maybe the view that I had of the church, which was sort of like it's a little old-fashioned, it's not for me. You know, I was making films and I was doing everything that I thought I wanted to be doing. At the end of the day, it was me coming to a point where I had done all the things that I thought would make me happy and make me fulfilled. And I was sitting there saying, I'm not happy, I'm not fulfilled. This isn't going the way that I had planned it to. And from that was maybe the beginning of me kind of looking back at my faith and just start to be curious about maybe there was something more that I was missing in that. When Full of Grace came around, it came at a very difficult time. I was in between films, not quite sure what the next step was. And Full of Grace really allowed me to speak out my frustrations with my own faith journey. They allowed me to speak my doubts into characters that I needed to hear from. I needed to hear from these scriptural characters that we talk about so much. We think we know because we've heard the Bible story so many times. We think we understand them, but the truth is I didn't know who they were, and I didn't understand the experiences that they had because they didn't reflect my experience. And so for me, Full of Grace was as much me trying to work out these sort of faith issues in my own life. We're asked to live a truthful life, and what does that mean for each of us? You know, how am I going to live a life of truth? How am I going to live a life that reflects this truth that I've been given? It's changed everything, and I believe it's because I was finally putting these talents and this energy into something that was truthful, into something that was real, and into something that does have something to say. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of being able to now look at that. There's certainly a level of obedience that needed to happen throughout the process. And now looking back at the film, I can honestly say it's the first time in my entire life that I've ever been obedient to what God's called me to do and not to my own sort of selfish ambitions.